First question here.
Hola, Lionel. Se viene un partido que es decisivo para la selección argentina.
We are
También el anterior, pero este
talking about the decisive match
Recién Van Gaal hablaba
for Argentina in this World Cup. Van Gaal
de cómo van a enfrentar a la selección argentina de Messi.
spoke about how they will deal with Messi and Argentina, and we understand there will be a special marking for Messi. Is Argentina prepared so that he can get rid of this individual marking? You mean the individual marking to Leo Messi? Well, we will see tomorrow what happens on the pitch. We are used to our opponents coming up with something different, and we will see tomorrow. We don't want to go into foregone conclusions, but obviously during the match there are always variations and changes and modifications. Even we could implement some modifications from the tactical side, but I don't want to advance anything here. Let's wait and see, but obviously this is something that we have in our minds, and which is where there was individual marking on Leo. Cadena 3, Argentina. A couple of questions. How is Rodrigo de Paul? How is Angel Di Maria? And which type of game do you envisage tomorrow against the Dutch? Well, yesterday we had we have private training yesterday behind closed doors. So I don't know how you know that Rodrigo might have something strange. And you know what I mean by this. So, they are, in principle, feeling well, and then we will see today's training to come up with a lineup. But I repeat, yesterday we trained behind closed doors. So I don't know where this information is coming from. Gustavo Charroch, Radio La Red. You have three footballers that might have discomfort. Gomez, De Paul, Di Maria, are all of them available for you tomorrow? Again, today we have the last training, and we will see how they feel today. Always, after a game, some players have individual training, not private training, or also only practice for half of the time due to the time they've played. And today we'll make a decision based on our game plan for tomorrow. That is what's most important here. Here, a question from here. Martín Saurralde. First question. You had less than 6 days to rest up. Unlike those 4 matches in 11 days, how do you see the team after these extra days that you had to prepare the match? And also, regarding the lineup, there is much being said about playing 4-3-3. Do you have an idea how you will play tomorrow? Well, you know what I think about the game, the plan, the game system. I don't know if we've ever played 4-3-3s, because who is our left winger? Exactly. So if we don't have one winger on the one side, we don't have one winger on the other side. So you know what I think about systems. What's most important is how we try to damage the opponent and to make sure that they don't damage us. So, in principle, we are fine. We had time to prepare the match and to rest up, as we had very intense previous days, and we had to analyze the Dutch team very well to prepare the game, the way we see most fit. You said that you trained behind closed doors, but I think it's healthy that you, as the leader of the group, can also finally tell us if De Paul is able to play tomorrow, and eventually, if you think Enzo Fernandez can play higher up the pitch, given what he's done back in Argentina. And then, can you speak about the penalty shootout? Well, can you repeat the question? What do you say exactly?
No, pero no, te repito, entrenó ayer.
Again, I should say, he trained yesterday. So let's see during today's training which decisions we should make. But he trained yesterday. Also, Di Maria trained yesterday. Sometimes players who have played before, they only complete half of the training. So we will make a decision after today's training. I couldn't dare to say whether he's able already or not, or whether we're talking about De Paul, Di Maria. You never know. But the players who have or have not fully trained, for whatever reason, because we were being cautious, because they played very many minutes. Well, you know, and everything, all the information that you get on the press today is very difficult to manage. But we know is that anyone on the pitch must play very well. The team comes first. If you're out on the field, you must be fit so that you can help the team. And as for the penalty shootout, yes, they took penalties yesterday. They always take penalties before and after matches, but then it's all about luck when it comes to the penalty shootout. I hope we don't get to the penalty shootout, and we hope the game is over for us before that, but we are okay on that front.
Thank you very much for coming. Now the time is over. Next question here.
Yes, here. Hi, Lionel. Abdullah Al-Binni from Al Jazeera Media Network.
Abdullah Al-Binni from Al Jazeera Media Network.
I asked Chechi about what to say for Pelé in the hospital now and what to promise him. I have a question from the other son, because at home we are divided three. One with Morocco, the other with Argentina, and the third with Brazil. So a question from the Argentinian supporter for you. What can you say for the Argentinian people? And as we are now living the second death anniversary of Maradona, how and why, what can you promise the Argentinian people in this tournament?
Bueno, primero, sí es verdad que
First of all, yes, it is true that I wanted to remember and remind everyone about the death anniversary from Alejandro Sabella 2 years ago. This is a sad day for all of us because this was a huge loss for Argentina, for the squad, because of everything he gave to us and he passed on in terms of values. So I want to remind him, his family, in this 2-year anniversary from him passing away. And what can we tell our people? They should enjoy the game. They should enjoy their squad playing. As we always say, we will break our backs for our colors, for our country, to have the best representation for our country. And this is football. So in the end, this is sport. And when the game is over, I really hope that we can be happy with the result, because it was a positive result. And if not, I hope people to be identified with us, because that's what we try to pass on to our people. And I think that people feel very much appreciated and identified with these players. Hello, this is a question from Matias Sapleno, Media Sports Press. Following this philosophy about the play systems, in press conferences you don't really reveal the play system, because everything depends on the final training about the impressions and who is most fit to play. I wanted to ask you, this also has to do with the penalty takers, in case you should go to the penalty shootout. So today in the training you can have the names of the people who would be taking the penalties. Do you decide that on the pitch during the game? How do you make this decision of the 5 players who would need to take the penalty? Well, the penalty shootouts are after 120 minutes, so I don't envisage a game just thinking of the penalty shootouts. You cannot do that. You are not thinking of the players who will be taking the penalty shootouts. We don't need to be thinking of that, not at all. Then, when we are playing the game and we have some minutes left, well, what we always think is to win the game in 90 minutes or in extra time if needed, but then we will see in the last minutes if we are doing some substitutions or not. But this is very easy to say this, and then we need to implement it and manage this situation in that moment. But, well, decisions come when you need to make those decisions in certain moments, and then you can be right or wrong, but we will see. Hello, your left. This is live for Canal 12 Córdoba. Alexis was saying that this is a squad that loves watching football. You always said that you also enjoy watching football. This is the quarterfinals. 8 teams, 5 European, 2 South American, some from Africa, 4 World Cup winners. What is your analysis? Were there any surprises? And which could be the favorites to reach the final? Which could be the candidates? Well, I think the 8 teams that are in the quarterfinals could be playing at the final. I have no doubt about that, because you are really, really close from playing the 7 matches. And I think any national team could be fit enough to be playing at the final. It is a very, very thin line. We cannot really tell which is the favorite and who can win. We do think that it is quite similar. We are talking about evenly matched national teams, and some opponents, well, in principle, you can think that they don't have enough level to face another national team. And in the end, you realize that it was quite the contrary. So I would say that any of the 8 national teams have earned credit to play the final game. Matías Pascualetti for Canal 7 and Diario Mendoza. Van Gaal was just saying that since 20 years ago, we are not playing in the attack from 2014 on, and think about the defensive part of football. You know this very well due to all the games that you had to play. But do you think that beyond Luis van Gaal's statements, do you think this is right? And against the Netherlands, could you have an open play compared to the previous matches? Can it be more open? Well, what Van Gaal says is not a mystery. In my opinion, football has developed. Everyone is working for the whole squad as teammates. In a squad, it is a team with 11 players, and everyone needs to attack and to defend. I consider the Netherlands with a very well-balanced team. They have many attacking players, but they all defend, they all attack, and in the end, that's the summary of how I see the Netherlands and today's football. It is true that some years ago, and many years ago, we could think that there were only 5 or 4 players to attack, but today's football is something different. Tomorrow's game, yes, it will be a beautiful game, I'm sure of that, because we are talking about 2 national teams proposing great options to attack. The Netherlands will attack, but will keep paying attention to their defense, as we also do. We need to think of both sides, to attack and to defend, because if you're only thinking of attacking, then you will pay the consequences. Hello, Coach. I wanted to ask you about the importance from Enzo Fernandez when he was in the team, in the squad. He was key for your team's performance, for your squad's performance. Yes, he was doing quite well. All the players that came in contributed greatly to the whole squad. He is a player with a great evolution, and we are very happy with his contribution. And this is what we hope from our players. When we make a decision, when they are on the bench, or when we make substitutions, we always hope for this best performance from them, in case they can improve the squad. In this case, Enzo Fernandez was great, and he can even contribute more. He is a player with a great future. Hello, Coach. How are you doing? My question is, how do you manage the excitement? Because this will be a decisive match. We are talking about the quarterfinals. And my second question, what concerns you the most in this final training before tomorrow's game? We think game will be a very important one, as we thought of Australia, Mexico, and Poland. Every game with the national team is a very important one, and the upcoming match is the crucial one, regardless of what it means. So we manage it in the same way as we did in the previous matches. We think that that's the way we see how we manage football and how we manage the football games. Which was your other question, sorry? Question of Mike. Well, the same way. It's what we always say to our players. They need to understand that, of course, there is anxiety. You want the game to start right now because you are anxious. Of course, you also want to rest, but after 5 or 6 days, you are eager to be playing. But we take it with peace of mind. We are calm because we know that our team will break their backs, as we have done in previous games. Sometimes we've played very well, sometimes not that well, but we always faced our opponent, and that's the thing that our people value the most. We feel identified with that, and then when the game is over, we will see each other and we will know that we gave it all on the pitch. We know that football sometimes can be very beautiful, sometimes it can be cruel. Hello, Coach Javier Galdi from Grupo Jornada Mendoza Medio Group. There was a game from Ecuador against the Netherlands, and then Luis van Gaal approached Gustavo Alfaro and praised him and said that Ecuador had been better than the Netherlands. I wanted to ask you, because I guess that you've been scouting the different matches from the Netherlands, and especially this game. What is your reflection about this? Because back then Ecuador was having the ball and didn't have sometimes the control against the Netherlands. We analyze all the games from the Netherlands, we've been scouting them, and we don't have the same players as Ecuador. Do we agree on this? Yes. We play in our own style, in our own way. Yes, logically we can scout them, we can see what things were right, what things we can improve or not, but we have our own players, that's our way of playing. And yes, we have certain nuances, and we can try to do something different to hurt the Netherlands, that's for sure. But look, every national team has their own players, their way of playing, and we cannot modify that, because in the end it would be, well, calling up other players in the middle of a World Cup, and that's not allowed. That's what I can tell you.
Hiba Sabah from Jordan. My question concerning player DYBALA. He didn't play until now, not a single minute. What's the reason for that? Is he not ready? And if he's ready, why did you into this World Cup? My second question: if you pass through, who would you prefer, Croatia or Brasilia? Your results against Brazil were good, but not so good against Croatia.
Bueno, no, me pregunta por qué no ha jugado Paulo y...
Well, my question is, the question is why DYBALA is not playing and why I brought him. Well, he didn't play because I didn't see the moment to field DYBALA. He's well, he can be part of the starting 11, but we think that due to the matches that we've played and how they've developed, we didn't have the chance to field him, but we are happy with how he's contributing. But we have 26 players, and we try to field those that we feel are needed in each match. Sometimes you have up then the match plays out in a different way. And as if I prefer Croatia or Brazil, well, I don't have an answer to that question. We need to play our game and then see what ensues.
Gracias, Scaloni. Gracias, Nick.
Gracias.
Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you, everyone.